lost in hiking down in the mud. How about that little canyon down in Big Bend? Watching the sun singing.
Welcome back to Pratt on Texas. When using a firearm, safety and accuracy matters. Get safe and accurate now with Pratt on Texas certified NRA pistol training. Find out about concealed handgun classes at PrattOnTexas.com. Be safe, live. We're visiting with the author, self-published author of his first book. And it's like having a kid, Jeffrey Essery. And the book is called The Republic, and the cover of it's just beautiful. It's marble, but with it's the Texas flag. Looks like sandstone or limestone, something like that, and just gorgeous. And you can see it there at PrattOnTexas.com and order the book as well. There's a Kindle version as well as the softback paperback that I have in my hands. Now, this is about, well, what we can all understand. The main character is a young man wanted to join the Marines, be a Marine sniper, and then all of a sudden, the political establishment essentially undoes the U.S. Constitution, as they've been doing piecemeal, but they declare the Second Amendment no longer in place. They want to seize our guns, and enough Americans, thank God, are willing to stand up and fight. Texas is obviously fighting once again for her own independence, and he comes home to fight. And Jeffrey, tell us a little bit of the story. Just tell us a little how you put the story together and what's going on in the book.
Well, you know, Jed has deep ties with Texas. I mean, he, you know, as most or all Texans do, and he just don't like the way the United States administration, you know, the president's administration is handling, you know, their term in the White House, and you know, when they threatened to take away the Second Amendment, and you know, after several, you know, take the law into their own hands, after, you know, protecting their property, after the government, you know, runs out of money, and everybody's, you know, just scrounging around to live, and you know, and they take away the Second Amendment, and that just fires up to Texas and all the other red states, and you know, and they just start, you know, just forming their own country, and I call it the Republic States of America, and they all just form together and you know, take down the other side.
How do they go about organizing the military? I mean, you know, we're the United States, the most advanced military in the world, has the most advanced technologies in the world. How do these upstarts even begin to deal with being at such a disadvantage?
Well, you know, that's a good question. You know, most of our military, I say most, I mean, you know, the ones I've talked to and you know, and what I've looked around are, you know, pretty well right-wing, you know, love their guns, love to hunt, and they would fight for our Second Amendment rights, and to what they was opposed to the Constitution is to protect her, and you know, when the government, you know,
well, how do they get their equipment? I mean, do the units simply abandon the U.S. and take their equipment and their Humvees and go and join a different fighting force? This is the kind of thing that used to happen in military action. But how does that? That's what I'm curious about. How do you envision? How do you draw that out as happening? How do these people end up having enough arms and ammunition and things to fight?
Pretty much, that's how. Texas, you know, has their own boneyards of the old airplanes, the old army tanks. You know, Arizona does too. And
4 states, I believe, that maintain, isn't it just 4 now, that have their own completely separate state military forces, where the governor is the commander-in-chief, and indeed Texas military forces, the Texas State Guard, and other components there, and the governor appoints the general and the leadership of that, and it's there. Of course, it works side by side with through the overall forces command, but it is indeed in place in Texas. But one would think that the overwhelming reaction of the U.S. military would be so fast and swift that nobody could do anything about it. Obviously, Jeffrey, I've had many, like all Texans, we've had many conversations about this with people,
sure,
and thought about the troubles, and I'm just curious how you resolve that in the book.
You know, and you know, in my book, I put an EMP strike, which is that you know, a pulse in there that would you know, knock out all satellite, you know, communications,
that's a pretty easy thing to do, low tech. I mean, that's a great weapon to knock out the superiority. Of course, we hope in reality, we hope our government actually has some things a little bit better hardened than they went on. But that is certainly something that a smaller rogue band could do. So is that a way to level the playing field to some degree?
Pretty much, and then, you know, all the walking army, you know, pretty much all of them are gun-loving, you know, people. And you know, this is fiction, and I even got the USS Lexington fired back up.
That'd be hard too, but I like that. That's fun. Yeah.
So, you know, all them old museums and all those, you know, airplanes on display, and we put them back to work. And, you know, Chris, that's pretty...
you know, the DPS now has a whole bunch of swift boats. We've been adding swift boats a few a year for the Rio Grande and in the Intercoastal Waterway. They've got big 50 cals on them and stuff like that. So, you know, look into that for your second. You know, we've been buying some old helicopters, too, and been firing from them, actually, on pursuits down in the Rio Grande Valley. So there are the bones of things. It's just so little compared to what the federal government has at its disposal.
All right. Well, let's hope it never goes to that.
Amen. Let's hope it stays fiction and we can solve these things at the ballot box. Jeffrey, thanks a lot for joining us today. It's a fun book, and congratulations on becoming an author. Everybody talks about it. Few do it, but my friend, you did. Congratulations.
Robert, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You bet. It's a fun book. In fact, it's there at PrattOnTexas.com.